And the lesson I learned from all of that was the power of hard work, that when I put my all into something, that I saw the result. And the one downside is that I became addicted to hard work. I was very much introverted as a kid, and I didn't speak to many people outside of my house. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had like one friend that lived on the block with me named Teddy, lived up the street. But even by the time I was probably like 10 or so, I didn't like associate with him much anymore. Nothing was like wrong. I just was very much introverted, very much stayed in the house. Well, of course, which I found out later that I had some anxiety issues, like especially like, but I was very comfortable just being in the house by myself and like say reading books and watching TV and drawing and things of that nature. And so by the time I was in the 8th grade, I had a teacher, a language arts teacher named Mr. Montero. And Mr. Montero, he was a really kind of black male teacher, very kind of laid back, and he gave us an assignment to. We had to read a book and had to give an oral presentation in front of the class. Well, when kids get those kind of assignments, they always try to find the smallest, thinnest book they can. Some kids they'll bring a pamphlet in and say, look, it's a pamphlet on not smoking, just to get out of reading a book. But I was the opposite. I read Huck Finn. And I had an interest in Huck Finn because I used to watch a TV show called The Banana Splits.
The Banana Splits present The Banana Splits.
And they used to have like this part cartoon, part live action thing they used to do with Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn and Becky. And I was a big fan of that. So when we were in the library, looking for books to read, I saw, The Adventures of Huck Finn. I said, I'll get this. I didn't think about the fact that it was 300 pages. So when it came the day to do the assignment, and people say, bring up your book, and what did you pick? And I brought up Huck Finn, and it was this big 300-page book. It was a paperback. And Mr. Montero said, I know you didn't read this, because he was questioning the kids if they really read the books or not. Because again, the kids had the thinnest book, but they really didn't read them. But I said, no, I really read it. And he didn't believe me. He's like, you read this whole book? I said, yeah. So I got up and I did my oral presentation, and we actually did it on camera. And I wish I had that video of that, of me actually doing that, but he had like a big old video camera there. And I did my presentation in front of the camera. And I really I guess, because me being so quiet, but I got into it. And I was telling the story of Huck Finn, and I was excited about it because I loved the story and loved the whole thing about it. And when it was over, the whole class applauded for me, which was weird. It was like, because everyone got up and did their assignment. The kids just sat there and nothing happened. When I did mine, the kids clapped like I put on the show. And I was very, surprised by that. So at the end of class, Mr. Montero called me over, and I'm thinking he's going to congratulate me for doing such a good job. And his words to me were, "You're lazy." Because I'm getting C's, like barely getting by with C's, and in all my classes. And he said, if you can do this, how come you're getting a C in my class? How come you're barely getting by? And but that was the case. So from that point forward, he started to push me to be a better student. And later that year, he got me to perform, to do a competition called the Oratorical Contest, where you had to write a speech and present it. And so I did the speech, and I lost. And lesson learned is losing sucks. I didn't like losing. But I went to give my presentation, and I forgot my speech right in the middle of the speech, and I lost. And so the following year, he wanted me to do the Black History Oratorical Contest. And he came to me and he says, this year I want us to try to do the Black History Oratorical Contest. And because he was a teacher that I really admired and I liked, I said, okay, fine. But I didn't think anything of it. Okay, we're going to do another speech. But this time, because of what I put into it the first time and going to, the presentation, and going to do it and losing and, not liking the fact that I lost, I wanted to really do better. And this was the first time, so in writing the speech, and he said to me, I think the topic we should do is apartheid, because it gave you a list of topics. And he said, I want you to do apartheid, the struggle continues. That was one of the topics. And again, I just said, okay. I didn't think anything of these things, but later I found out that, Black History Oratorical Contest was a really, really big deal in the city of Philadelphia. And I had no idea. And then to do apartheid was a major subject. I had no idea. I was just like, okay, let's fine. So we were working on the speech and working on the presentation, and we worked like all through from October all the way up until like April, because like I said, it's a big deal. Again, I didn't know that. I just knew that I had lunch with Mr. Montero and I enjoyed his company, and I'd rather sit with him, and talk to him than going to lunch with a bunch of other kids anyway. And I worked really, really hard. And I was taking out I had taken so many books out of the library at school, and at the local library, I had to carry 2 book bags to school because I had so many books. So when we got to the day of the contest, I went and I presented.
The theme of my speech is apartheid. The struggle continues. Where's your passbook, boy? You're not supposed to be here. You're under arrest. Come with me. In your lifetime, you may never have to answer a question like this. But in South Africa, the indigenous population may answer this question 2 or 3 times a day. And
lo and behold, I came in first place. And I was there, I was representing Wagner Junior High School. It was a neighborhood school that was known more for fights than it was for anything positive. Come to find out, at the contest, all the students there would come from like really well-to-do magnet schools and magnet schools, and all of the kids there were on a fast track for college, and they were all saying, well, I'm going to, and all the kids there said, well, I got accepted, I'm going to Central next year, and I'm going to Girls High, like all the magnet schools that all the kids try to apply to. And I was just, this kid from Wagner Junior High School, and I won the whole thing. I realized it was a big deal after I won, and then we had to go to these different award ceremonies and these different places that we wanted you to give a speech. And then I get there and I'm realizing, okay, I'm meeting the mayor now, and I'm speaking in front of the city council, and then at the big award presentation with the 3 winners, the junior high, I was the middle school, it was the elementary school, middle school, and the high school winners. And I'm speaking in front of 2,000 people, and I'm thinking like, okay, I guess this is a big deal. Like, again, I had no idea. I learned the lesson of hard work and how powerful and how much of an equalizer hard work can be. And I worked harder on that than I ever did anything in my life, and I got addicted to hard work from that. And which, like any addiction, can be a bad thing. My hard work ethic has paid off in tremendous ways, but it also has hurt me in some other ways. But that's probably a lesson for another day. But the power of hard work is what I learned from that whole experience. Also that year, it was 1987. It was the year of the Constitution 200 celebration, the celebration of the Constitution. And I got invited to go to be a part of the Constitution celebration in Philadelphia, which aired on national television on CBS.
Right here in Philadelphia, another essay contest was taking place. It was tied into the celebration of Black History Month and was sponsored by the Philadelphia Board of Education. The winners of that contest also are in the hall this evening. Their names are Monique Armstrong, age 10, representing the elementary school division; Shannon Newby, age 14, representing the junior high school division; and Napoleon Williams, age 17, representing the high school division. I'd like all these students now to stand so that we can acknowledge their accomplishment with our applause.
I was there and got to meet Walter Cronkite and retired Supreme Court Justice Warren Burger, and a lot of things. So that was a pretty cool thing. And I was on national television, prime time, and so that was pretty good. So